The following game has been rated T for teen by the ESRB for fantasy violence, mild language, and drug references. That means anyone under the age of 13 should not be watching this video. You have been warned. Greetings and salutations. I am Outlier and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is, of course, my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we're returning back to Starpoint Gemini Warlords. So the premise of the Starpoint Gemini series is that you play the role of a starship captain doing starship things in the isolated system known as Gemini, which was originally settled by the Earth Empire. They fought a war of independence. Someone somewhere used reality and space and time-bending weapons and managed to isolate off the entire system of Gemini from the rest of the Empire through collapsing whatever means of long-distance FTL they actually have. And that's the main storyline before any of the games start, and the first couple of games cover, well, the aftermath of that fallout. Now, I believe the first game involves you figuring out what's going on and serving as an introduction to the Gemini system and how things work. The second game I've not really played all that much of, but from what I recall from context clues and the storyline of this game, at some point during the second Starpoint Gemini game, they managed to reconnect whatever FTL gateway they were using back to the old Earth Empire. I believe either the Earth Empire fled or reinvaded, followed by an alien species that was destroying the Earth Empire, and they managed to shut down the gate before, well, the whole of Gemini collapsed. But there's still a remnant of the Earth Empire in Gemini. They settled on a planet known as Phaneros, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, and created a faction known as the Solari Concord, of which, in Starpoint Gemini Warlords, your character is a member of, which is why the backstory is important to this game. Now, Starpoint Gemini Warlords is different from the other two games in the series up to that point. Yes, I know that Starpoint Gemini 3 is now a thing, but it was made after Warlords. So Starpoint Gemini Warlords is different from any other game in the series. You still command a starship doing starship things, but in addition to doing that, you have the ability to both build, command, and sort of control, though not directly, whole AI fleets of vessels that you can have follow you around and aid you in various battles and conquests. Or, if you so wish, and this is where the indirect command part comes from, you can send those fleets off to do various conquests and other things without you ever being present. It's just not as interesting from a video making perspective, although useful from a tactical perspective, truth be told. Yeah, so you can fight a war by proxy. It's just not fun to look at. Now, for those of you who haven't seen the last episode, I am in the middle of what I like to call the various chapters of the game. The game's storyline is broken up to various sections, what I've been calling chapters, based off of the type of ship that the game requires that you pilot. So, you start off with a gunship, and you play the gunship chapter. And when you need a corvette, it switches over to the corvette chapter, and then so forth with the frigate, and then the destroyer, and then the cruiser. Yes, but you're still piloting a cruiser, so therefore it counts. And a couple episodes ago, I managed to complete the battleship chapter, which took a while because part of the battleship chapter required that I research a whole bunch of technologies whose sole purpose is to develop and build a massive super capital ship class super weapon known as the Proxima, for the sole reason that the pirates that we've been fighting this entire game snuck aboard our HQ, stole the plans, and we found out that they're building one themselves. So the ethical response is to build one of ours before they can finish theirs, for probably benevolent means. Well, yes, I'd use air quotes, but I'm fairly certain the sarcasm should be prevalent enough. So that's where I've been technically at for the past couple of episodes in between the Battleship and Dreadnought chapters. I do technically need a Dreadnought and have spent the last couple of episodes gathering the resources, mostly money, to get a Dreadnought. Because trying to capture a larger vessel than yours through boarding action is highly improbable and very difficult. But not impossible. I mean, that's how I ended up with my cruiser. But it's something that I've been working on while trying to get the massive amount of funds together to, if I can't take one through the five-finger discount method, to just simply outright purchasing one like a normal person. So that's where I left things at, and I will be the first to admit that not wanting to repeat the same stuff over and over again, I may have played slightly in between last episode and now, so I now have the funds to actually get the Dreadnought. So I've been looking forward to seeing what comes next, mostly due to how I've always questioned the ethics behind the need to build the Proxima. I know why we need to build the Proxima, I just don't agree with its existence, and why our R&D department felt the need to even design the ship in the first place. It's basically an old weapon designed for an old purpose to be fielded by an old empire, none of which is relevant today, and if evolution has taught anything to anybody, it's that those who adhere to the old ways and the old means and the old things do not survive, because it's either you adapt or you become prey to those who do adapt. And as such, this game is of course made by... Thank you again. And that being said, let us begin. Okay, so here we are. This is not my Dreadnought. The reason why I'm still piloting the battleship, even though I said I purchased a Dreadnought, is because the Dreadnought chapter starts as soon as I step aboard the Dreadnought and launch it from Concordia, which is our main HQ, which is right here that you can see. And the ships around us is our fleet, our friendly, happy fleet of ships that are far larger than us. Well, soon we won't be the smallest ship in the fleet. And that's not because if I go to the map, through civilian fleet action, I purchased 2 frigates and 3 gunships in exchange for, I think, some materials.
But as you can see, my money at the end of last episode was in like the 50 million range or 60 million range, I don't actually remember. But now it's 1.6 million. And that's because I again purchased the Dreadnought, and I did it through just completing several chunks of the job board as usual, also taking out a bounty and accidentally conquering part of the Cent Chunk Barony.
Because I wanted to hit one of their space fleets because I had a couple dreadnoughts, but I couldn't catch it without hitting their outpost garrison.
So that's how you accidentally conquer something, even though it was slightly intentional. But anyway, so back to what I was doing. So as I said, we now have a Dreadnought.
Adjusting ship rotation.
And if I go to the dock, first thing I have to do upon docking is to go to the dry dock and switch the loadout and unmount everything. Wrong button. I said unmount everything because I only have so many weapons. And yes, I know I do have a spare amount of weapons, but they're not as good as the weapons that I have been using. And don't get me started about the weapons that I could buy. I mean, that's another slog for credits in and onto itself. Now, I don't know if the enhancements come with me. I don't think they do, given the fact that they're actually still here. And I don't know if unmounting them allows me to put them on without rebuying them, which would mean I would need more funding for that. But we're about to find out, because if we go to not the shipyard, go to the garage, scroll all the way down to the Asteria, this is our Dreadnought. And so we transfer command. Yes, I wish to transfer command to this vessel. And so the default name for this ship is the Tabernas. Don't get used to that, I will be changing it. In fact, let's actually change it right now. So, I need a name. A proud name. A strong name. A name that will strike fear into the hearts of our enemies.
Yes, that's the plan. It's worked so far, and I fail to see why changing it now. In fact,
I'm just going to go ahead and name it the Peanut Bar, if I can type correctly. Why? Because my flagship and Starhammer, the Vanguard Prophecies, I decided to name Peanut Bar, even though that one's, I believe, a cruiser. Whereas this is a Dreadnought. But you know what? I'm further along in this game than that game, and you know, I generally have a standard set of naming conventions that I just apply to everything. So, Peanut Bar it is. Now if we go to loadout, one thing that I completely forgot is that I need to add more turrets. And at 125 a pop, I am not going to have enough funds to max out every turret. Alright, so I only want to keep the Apophis 2, the Malchior, and the Severance. In fact, let me actually mount these guns so that way I don't forget them. And the standard weapons mounting will be the same, in the fact that I like having the plasma... I did set that right, yeah. I like having the plasma cannons on the front of the vessel, the beam cannons on the port and starboard, mainly because I like having port and starboard be exactly the same type of weapons loadout, and I like beam weapons a lot. And then the aft, because I like having balance in all things, will be the railgun, because that's the wrong mount, because certain ships have resistances to certain weapons, so having at least one of everything is helpful. Now as for the rest, because I need whole piles of money, will most likely have to be sold. So if I go back out here to Trader, go to Systems, just Sell this, sell this, sell this. Apparently I have 2 Rem 3s, okay. Just every weapon that I've had just sitting around all day. In fact, one thing that I did forget, luckily I just now remembered, is mounting the heavy weapons and the fighter. So if I go back to dry dock and go to loadout, in fact, yeah, the enhancements don't carry over to the new ship. But I don't have the money to repurchase all the ones that I had. So I guess I get to go without for right now. Of course, I also completely forget what weapons I had for the heavy mounts. I'm assuming I had the Requiem 2 for the fusion torpedo. I'm also assuming that the best weapons are at the bottom of the list, so if I just start there and work my way up, I should have the correct weapons. And the weapons that I choose, well, and the heavy weapons, generally match the... I think I had the hammer on. Oh, well, moot point. I got some of these. But as I was saying, the heavy weapons match the light weapons. So I'll have the fusion torpedo heavy weapon matched with the plasma cannon light weapon. The shockwaves match with the beam cannons, and then the missiles match with the railguns. And as for fighter, the Mediator is ridiculously more expensive than the others, so I'm assuming it's better. I mean, it does have the average damage of 30 compared to the Delta's 10, and the Cobra is 20. I mean, they all have 5 fighters. Although the Delta does have slightly more fuel than the Mediator, but I'll take damage over fuel for the fighters. Now, since I still need more funding, right now I'll keep the fighters just simply because I know for a fact that while the Dreadnought can only carry one fighter, at least one type of fighter at a time, the carrier, the next ship up, carries 3. And while there are 3 different types of strike craft, if I can't afford extra strike craft, because like now I blow all my currency on just the ship, forgetting completely that I had to buy turrets for it, I may be strapped for cash and couldn't get extra fighters. Although selling all the weapons that I've literally just stockpiled throughout the whole of the game has netted me 11.6 credits, so just max out every turret on every side. As well as rearm. And I have over 9 million left, so if I go to enhancements, where's the one that protects against radiation? Yeah, let me mount that one at the very least, just on the off chance I have to go back into poisonous space. Now let me also get this one for the fighters, which increases fighter damage by 30% and fuel efficiency by 50%, which I would assume means that they are able to be outside for longer and do more damage. Of course, if I go with this upgrade, I can get 2 extra troopers. I believe that's what endurance means. Whereas for this one, actually no, I get the same trooper endurance anyway, but their readiness increases by 40%. So let's also mount this as well, because I enjoy ship boarding actions. So there's all that, and I now have 5.4 million in the bank still. So hopefully that should work. And now if we leave,
Carry on, Captain. May we see each other soon.
I need to meet with Raynor Trace at the Proxima construction site. And this is our new vessel. As I shoot at nothing just to test out the weapons. Alright, where's the Proxima shipyard? I know it's close. Oh, there we are.
Initiating sublight.
Now, do you mind? To be fair, I technically flew into them, so I guess that makes sense. Part of me was wondering if I get the prompt that's saying, this is a storyline mission. Do you wish to auto-travel there? Even though it's only like 10,000 measurement units away. Alright, so this is Rainer Trace. He is the head of our R&D department. It's his idea to build the Proxima, because the pirates have a Proxima. So, glad you can make it, Arden. Arden's our character. This is us, by the way. Wouldn't miss it. That's one hell of a ship you got there, Rainer. Technically, it's not a ship, but your description will do. Details. So what now? How do we find Ben-Sara and her mammoth? I'm assuming that's what they're calling their version of the Proxima. And Cal Emmerich's, our boss, or everybody's boss on Concordia, says we don't. Not yet, anyway. We do know, however, that Adia is of key importance to the Black Oath. Those are the pirates that we've been fighting. I believe it's time to take the Proxima for a spin. Destroying the Adia will be a good punch in the face anyway. Counselor, I advise against it. We should make test runs first to make sure that... Nonsense, Trace. Getting rid of Adia will be all the testing it needs, because that works so well for the Icarus. I'll stay on the Proxima, you two do the preparations. I'll make the jump as soon as the beacon is up. Time for payback, let's do this, or what beacon? Because again, that works so well for the Icarus. So what beacon? Proxima doesn't have a conventional propulsion. Instead, it makes hyperspace jumps. To make jumps precise enough, it requires a navigational beacon to be placed at the target location. The integrated I'm assuming that's supposed to be nav computer, then navigates hyperspace towards the beacon. Simple and effective. Time for payback, let's do this. Alright, so I have to go to Adia and then use the Proxima to basically destroy it. I mean, if we needed a test run, can we use it against the planet of Solmea? I would like to conquer that, so that way people down here stop trying to take all of this stuff that I took from them. Plus, it would also get me access to this wormhole that I can then use to build a T-gate, so that way I don't have to use the nearest T-gate, which is over here. I would say we're technically here, but that's also farther away. Where is Adia? I feel like I should know that because we've been there before. And it's over here. Okay. So, without any ado whatsoever, let us go. And this is the screen that I was talking about. So, this is our first officer. She handles all the narrated pieces. In fact, you just heard her saying that we're jumping to sublight. So, Captain, the Concorde issues free T-Drive charges for any long-distance Concorde-related missions. We'd like to use T-Drive to travel to the chosen destination. And T-Drive is the FTL instant warp drive that is in the game. The other FTL mode of transportation is sublight, which may not truly be faster than light. I'm fairly certain I talked about that in one of the one of the first episodes. Anyway, I don't feel like traveling there manually, so strap on in and fire the engines. And here we go. Now, it did jump us out this far, so that way we have some time to, I guess, actually get there.
Engaging automated protocols. All weapons on auto mode.
Alright, now I'm not using the 2 frigates and the 3 gunships that I purchased and mentioned before in this episode, and not because I forgot about them completely. It's just small ships have a tendency to die relatively quickly, and I mean, if 3 dreadnoughts and 6 carriers aren't enough, as well as the massive super weapon aren't enough to take this, 2 frigates and 3 gunships probably will not matter. Well, one question I just thought up of is...
The area seems to be littered with jammers of some kind. Even if we place the beacon, the Proxima won't be able to jump here safely. We have to take those jammers out.
Alright, so that was actually Raynor's voice. I don't know why it said first officer and used her picture. I'm guessing that's just realized the icon for like the tactical display for the Dreadnought's huge. Was expected at least to be slightly zoomed out. In fact, is there actually a zoom out function? I don't actually know. And what are we shooting at? We're blowing stuff up so quickly I don't even know what we're targeting. Alright, so they're dead. As we pick up more pirate currency, because everybody seems to have plasma rifles, but no one has them be legal, and you know they're just willing to buy them anyway. So, fail to see the point. I mean, it's not like somebody goes, "Oh, you have illegal weapons. Jettison them now or be fired upon." Even though our patrol ships are 1/4 the size of your vessel, and that was back when I was still piloting a cruiser.
Target is down.
Target acquired.
Where are all these cruisers coming from? Yeah, I think we actually have ventral guns now. That's nice.
Target neutralized.
I'll see you later. We'll paint your interior red.
Alright, so something tells me these ships are just going to keep showing up and showing up and showing up and showing up, so... Oh, wait, is the D of the planet? No, D is a space station.
Target acquired.
Target eliminated.
No, I can't even tell if we're actually moving forward. Okay, fine. Deploy the fighters.
Our shield is at half capacity.
Okay, so I probably should not be flying past the guys trying to shoot us.
That is right. Avenge me!
I mean, they're just basically frigates and
Enemy
cruisers.
down. Starboard shield is at half capacity.
Okay, fine. Boost the shields.
Destroyed.
I'd like to keep my ship in one piece, thank you. I'll make you ready for a curse upon your ship. Smash the pretender.
Oh, there are carriers here. Cloak the vessel.
This is no true end. Weapons ready and taking aim. Any more damage and we're done for.
Roger that. Commencing automated firing sequence.
Alright, so they have a full biometric shield, so can't board that carrier even if I wanted to.
No one attacks me and lives to tell about it.
Aft shield down to 25%, Captain. Starboard shield down to 25%, Captain.
Alright, starboard shield is gone. And that's where the fighters are going in, so let's cloak again. And actually repair things for once.
Picked on the wrong girl.
Active exit maneuvers. Prevent further damage at all costs.
I, fire at will command executed.
Now I grab a bigger ship and I suddenly still have the problem of trying to fight something bigger than me.
Stand for your best, ain't it?
Come on.
Go out with the bang.
I'll see you there. So you like to gamble, eh?
Should we continue this?
I'll take your ship as reward.
Alright, and there goes that carrier. Moving right along.
My support system failing.
There's a battleship here.
Target eliminated.
A frigate. Another frigate. Another carrier. And now that goes away. So hopefully the attendant fighters do as well. That cruiser's dead.
We'll drink some hot wash in heaven.
And another frigate goes. As I just watch a cruiser die by proxy because my dreadnought's in the way of actually seeing it die. I think all these ships have biometric screening. So can't actually take any through boarding action because I can't get the Marines over. Goes that frigate. Goes that cruiser. That frigate's already dead.
Avenge me!
Target neutralized.
No, the game's supposed to be targeting the closest enemy vessel. And the weapons, the turrets, when on auto mode, are supposed to also be shooting at the closest enemy vessel. So why is it I target one enemy and the ship decides to shoot somebody else? I'm picking up a lot of fire frequency, and that was a waste of heavy weapon ammo.
Everyone to the escape pod.
By all that is right, avenge me!
I don't even know if I'm shooting it.
Make my day, bruh. The 25,600!
I definitely feel like there's just auto-spawning ships. Yeah, because that was the noticed for that blue flash that you saw was a ship warping in.
I'll have to teach you a lesson, Kern.
Alright, so let's just get the sublight real quick. Just so I can get close to the jammers that I actually need to disable. Something that resembles
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
non-ridiculously large amount of time.
Not really smart, are you?
I don't know, I mean, there goes a second of your
Affirmative. Entering stealth mode.
jammers, and I just cloaked so you can't see me. So I don't think you can see me. Alright, so that's a dia right there.
Engaging sublight.
What's the thing behind it? That's the other jammer.
Fire at will. Manual targeting disengaged.
There they go. But there's another one.
Embrace your doom.
Probably, but not today.
Cloaking system initiated.
Alright, well, that certainly won't help avoiding the missile.
The ship can't stand this much beating.
No, it's almost like they knew we were coming. You know, the fact that they had these jammers in place before we showed up.
The jammers are down. We can deploy the nav beacon.
Make my day.
Okay, so how do I do that?
Target destroyed.
There goes that frigate. That frigate. That frigate's now gone, as is that one. Yeah, they're just gonna spawn extra frigates.
Move into strike. We've taken heavy damage.
Target neutralized.
So I'm assuming it's gonna be on the context menu. Nope. I can deploy boarding troops.
If I die,
Great,
I'll
mark
take
target, go to scan, transport. Okay, so how do I deploy the Proxima? I mean, is it from the map?
Drink some hogwash in heaven. If I die, I'll take you with me.
Alright, so it said Proxima attack points can be visible on the star chart
With honor, Barack.
by hostile planets. This is a hostile planet, but something tells me... Get moving.
We're going down!
You destroyed an enemy target.
I mean, I just shot a dia. It's down to 1% health. Could probably just blow it up with the dreadnought. Oh, there's an actual carrier here.
Reporting casualties.
Was a carrier here. I mean, technically it's still here. It's at 3% health. Now it's not, so... It's gone now. And I have consumed its debris.
If I die, I'll take you
Alright,
with me.
recall the fighters real quick. Of course, I guess I could go to the yellow
I'll hunt your corpse.
mission marker that says summon.
Lives to tell about it.
Engaging sublight.
Getting cocky, eh?
Okay, so summon the Proxima.
Incoming hostiles. We have to defend the Proxima while it charges up its main weapon.
Of course we do, because, you know, that makes perfect sense. That it didn't start fully
Target
charged.
eliminated.
I got you in my sight.
Alright, redeploy the fighters. Frigate versus Dreadnought. My money is not on the frigate.
Target is down.
Did we go up a level? I think we've been 42. On the plus side, we're gaining piles and piles of money for just killing things. How come even the background music had stopped? This battle's taking so long.
Target destroyed.
As more ships show up and more ships show up.
You'll pay for this, bruh.
Yeah, I'll pay. I know.
Today, I enter history.
I doubt that.
I'll see you in a
Target destroyed.
It looks like one of my shields is probably running low. Nope, that's the heavy weapon ammo marker. Ship's so large I can't even see the tactical display. Oh, more plasma rifles. Okay.
Proxima weapon is ready to fire at your command.
Okay. Oh, I just clicked this. Where is the Proxima?
I've seen asteroids put up a better fight.
So I want to see it fire. Oh, there we are. Let's get in a good position to watch the show.
He's attacking us.
Looks like it even has defensive perimeter guns.
My ship in one piece, thank you.
I was going to say we probably didn't have to defend all that much as it took a hit to the shields. So, let's turn around. What is that? What is that and where did it come from? Oh, that's a Dia.
Kern, you will not win this fight.
Apparently that's what a Dia looks like from the front. I think I lost 2 fighters. Let's just recall the fighters. Alright, so this should be a good angle. Let's just wait for the fighters to return. Alright, I'm taking hits to places I probably should not be taking hits to. And that's a dead frigate. That's a cruiser.
Port shield is at half capacity.
I'm sure it is. Fire.
Front shield is at 50%.
That cheap shot was your
Starpoint shield is at half capacity.
Okay. So, First Officer says that D is no more just a car. That's our rank. So you've certainly outdone yourself, Raynor. Alright, and I'm having problem contacting the Proxima. Isn't he on the Proxima? Something's not right. Nothing's wrong, Raynor. Everything is exactly as it should be. Why do I have a feeling he's going to steal it? Ben Cal, the mainframe is secured. They won't be hacking into it anytime soon. Exo Commander, join me on the bridge, Amira. Okay, so first of all, the Phaneros Council, the guys in charge of the Solari Concord, betray the Solari Concord and try to take over. Now this guy's just up and stealing our massive super weapon. Told you it was a bad idea. Emmerichs, what the hell is going on? I thank you for your assistance, captains. We couldn't have done it without the two of you. We'll make sure to say hi to Phaneros for you. Emmerichs, connection lost, sir. Peanut Butter, all Concord vessels in the area. Attack the Proxima. It must not leave this place. Even though it has an emergency jump system, so if it takes too much damage, it just ups and leaves in the first place. I'm contacting Phaneros and Concordia. We must get there fast. Let's go. And it's gone. Alright, let's get moving. As my shields are down. Alright, go to Phaneros. I'm guessing we're going to witness the planet exploding. On the plus side, I didn't lose anything from my fleet, so... bonuses?
Affirmative. Changing course.
Hey, the Proxima construction site's still here. Interesting. Maybe that means we can build another one.
Affirmative. Engage sublight.
Alright, in the meantime, rearm and recharge the shields. And by rearm, I mean repair. Because we're going to go into an even bigger war. And I'm spending this time just letting the shields fully recharge. At least trying to. I'm guessing that anomaly did something to the shield recharging because it stopped. Of course, it could also be the case that it's no longer boosted, so... it's just its natural recharge cycle.
Affirmative. Changing course.
Okay, so... I just stopped real quick to figure out how to zoom in and out because it's not a control scheme that I bothered to look at, and now I know how to do it. So now I can see the entire tactical display without actually running into said tactical display. Although part of me now wonders if Emmerichs was working with the Black Oath the entire time. Why did he destroy their base? Unless they didn't need it anymore and they needed proof of concept. Alright, let's boost the shields again because, you know, normally on normal recharge, shields was like 68% and I need it higher. Because as soon as the shield recharges, we're not going to go to Concordia anymore, we're going to go there. Right, 90% will have to do. Alright, every garrison shipped back to the planet now.
Course set. Engaging sublight.
That's just instant jump. Alright, in fact, Let's actually bring the reserves along. On the plus side, port shield's not 100, so I guess we're good to go. Of course, if I ever jumped to Concordia, I could probably just stopped and offloaded the cargo and repaired. So I got Phaneros scanning surface, sporadic life signs, atmospheric particles are interfering with scanners, and I was not paying attention. I'm guessing they already glassed the planet. All ships approach Phaneros and send away teams to help on the ground. I'm running scans, but there's no sign of the Proxima. It could be anywhere. How did we not see this? Get anything you can on that Kern Emmerichs. Already on it. He erased all of his data, but I'm confident I can get something back. It will take me a bit of time. Come see me on Concordia. You can command the Phaneros search and rescue from here too. Right, because it's usually a orangish world, and now it's just
They
gray.
want to rest easy with you on our side.
Yeah, I can't even dock on the planet anymore. This Black Oath hate us so bad, they blew up a planet.
Affirmative. Changing course.
Now, I figured the Proxima could just
Engaging
siege everything,
sublight.
but no, it did not. Okay, so it actually merged with the Honor Armada, so now every ship I have in my fleet is, well, in the fleet. Alright, where is this frigate?
Initiating sublight.
You guys should have headed home before.
We're going down!
Target eliminated.
Everyone to the escape pod!
Cold to us. Things are getting interesting. I won't die today. Not today. Reporting fighters on decks 6 and 9.
Yeah, that freighter's actually increasing distance. And it's still increasing in distance. Okay.
Affirmative. Changing course.
Let's just head back.
Adjusting ship rotation.
Well, plus I'm now at 13.6 million. I think the standard carrier is going to be 70 million when I need to upgrade that. Plus, I need about 50 million just to upgrade all the guns. And here we are back in Concordia. Someone tell me where I can find Emmerichs to kill him. So, Raynor Trace just simply says Justicar. What do you have for me? And someone new by the name of Kalen Beckett says he's got me. Who the heck are you? Oh, Counselor Beckett, you're alive. I'm guessing she was in charge. If we're up to Emmerichs, I would have been executed some time ago after the alleged treason. Thankfully, Briggs demanded a trial first. We never got that, though. Counselor, I'm terribly sorry. Shut up. We won't have that conversation now. If the situation were different, I'd deal with you right away, but after what Emmerich did to Feneros, I can't allow the Concord to lose any more capable officers, even misguided ones. I mean, to be fair, all the evidence pointed to a treason. Emmerich started the unrest on the planet. His more recent behavior was becoming suspicious, so Counselors Orlin, Kane, and I started an investigation of our own. It led us to realize he's been working with the Black Oath. When we came to arrest him, security actually turned on us. All hell broke loose after that. If there are any questions, now will be the time to ask them. So what do we know about the Black Oath? The Black Oath has its origins in an extremist nexus group. They couldn't cope with the fact that they lost the last war. Amazingly enough, they allied with the Empire. That doesn't make sense. Why attack us then? Their views are radical, as is usual the case with extremists of any kind. But they see us as an abomination of sorts. They believe we betrayed them when we turned away from the Imperial ways. Why would they care? It's not us who beat them in combat and conquered them. Doesn't matter. They expected us to help once we established a foothold in Gemini. We didn't, but don't forget there were elements of our own population whose views are akin to those. That current Emmerich's. I suspect he's only a tip of the iceberg. Let's talk about something else. Alright, so what info do we have on Emmerich's? I couldn't find a single instance where he had shown any radical views. Nothing that could even remotely link him to the Black Oath. I suspect he managed to avoid drawing attention to himself by using proxies and aliases. It's still strange that Intel didn't spot him. We have to assume that he has supporters everywhere willing to help him on a moment's notice. Even after the Burrow scorched the surface of Feneros. Fanaticism excludes reason. That is a true statement. What about Ben Sara? Any connection to her? Once again, a mystery. I cannot find a single possible event or location that would make it possible for these two individuals to have met. Other than when we apprehended her. She was on Concordia for a little while at least. That is correct. Emmerich may have talked to her then. It is possible he may have been a late convert. That wouldn't explain why he didn't trigger any red flags earlier. Let's talk about something else. I'd like to know more about Ben Sara. Ex-military, Imperial Navy, born on Sol on Mars. Distinguished career. Most of the data from right before the collapse is lost, so I can't tell you how or when she reached Gemini. I can tell you that she never reached Feneha or the Concord before she was captured. At least our records don't show it. So she's from Earth, but didn't come with the rest of us. Let's talk about something else. Your thoughts on the Proxima. Big waste of time and probably one of our greatest regrets. You two, damn you both for that monstrosity. You played right into their hands. The Black Oath had nothing. Nothing until you two idiots went ahead and constructed the biggest ship in the system capable of rendering entire planets lifeless. And now they have it. You better have a way of tracking that damn thing. I've been saying it's a bad idea to build this thing the entire time. No one listened to me because I don't get to say what this guy says. Let's talk about something else. How do we proceed? We find the Proxima, blow it up, and kill everybody. You tell me, and you better have something good. I'm afraid we cannot track where the Proxima is, but there is a way we can trap it. So, biggest ship in the entire fleet, and you didn't install LoJack.
Why is he in charge of R&D?
And she's all ears. The Proxima has a built-in safety mechanism. When the Proxima gets badly damaged, the system kicks in automatically, makes an emergency hyper jump to a predestined safe location. What I can do is override the emergency mechanism to trigger it ahead of time and set its destination to lead it straight to us. How about the sun? There are two of them. I'm fairly certain people won't miss one. How do you propose we do that when we don't even know where it is? We have to wait for Emmerich to strike again. When he does, we attack it with everything we have. But the real objective is to deploy a special package that will trigger the hyperjump. The Proxima mainframe is well protected from remote hacking attempts, but if we deliver the package directly onto it, the package automation software will do the rest. Assuming we deliver the package and the plan works, where will we and how will we trap it? Well, I'm assuming where will we be that's supposed to be. The Maelstrom. The powerful EM discharges will be drawn to it like flies. It won't be going anywhere. The trick is that we have to deploy a secondary beacon in advance. The Proxima will make an emergency jump to that location. How can you be sure that this will work? I designed it. I know its weaknesses. Except one weakness, the one weakness where you forgot to put in an off button. Get everything prepared. Pelgary, I want you on that Proxima the moment we get word it appeared somewhere. Is that clear? Perfectly, Counselor. Alright, so clear out the cargo bay. Rearm the ship. Max out T-drive charges because something tells me we're going to be jumping a very long way, very often, very quickly. And also max out on heavy repair drones and heavy shield boosters. Something tells me I'm going to need all of that. Now, I knew the Proxima was bad news from the very beginning. There was no need for us to build a massive planet-killing weapon that gets toted around by a bunch of engines, and as I said, I don't get a say in that matter, so it's how the game is written. And on that note, let us leave.
You take your leave.
So we need to secure the construction site. Of course, one thing that I realized is we're heading into the Maelstrom. Maelstrom has EM, is basically a floating cloud of electromagnetic radiation, and my ship is not configured for the Maelstrom. So we go to dry dock and go to enhancements. What's the shield that we are? Resospec EMP3. Mount that. So I'm assuming it's mounted. Yep, here we are. 50% EMP resistance. Also mount this to increase the speed of the engines.
May your travels be bountiful.
Let's just go kill this thing. Where is the Maelstrom? Oh, here it is.
Initiating sublight.
It's actually close to
EM
Sentient
regions reaching
space.
dangerous levels.
I know. Let's say shields are fine, but shields are taking a hit. Okay, so we come across an Outlier where you come to the wrong neighborhood, Imperial, and the options are: I'm sick of being called Imperial Lieutenant, cut comms, and prepare for combat. Look, let's put our differences aside for a little while, we have bigger fish to catch. Or Diplomacy 3, a massive ship will appear here in a little while. I suggest you're not here when that happens. No, I don't feel like fighting these people. I have other things to worry about, so... And, no, I finally have a possible extra option that I actually have a perk point for, so... Massive ship will appear here in a little while. I suggest you're not here when that happens. That proximity thing? Anyone could come here and claim that. Lieutenant, show him the data. Boys, we're clearing out. We can settle our scores some other time, Peanut Bar. That sounds fair. Especially considering I'm fairly certain my fleet's bigger than yours. Anywho. I construct that. Lieutenant, establish comms with Concordia. Is it done? Trap is constructed. You sure this will work? As much as I can be. Now it's only a matter of waiting for Emmerich to strike again. Let me guess, it's gonna blow up somebody else. Have at least 25,000 fleet power. Increase your own offensive capabilities. Okay, so the main mission is put on hold because I need 25,000, well, 5,000 more fleet power and as powerful weapons as I can fit on this thing.
Acquiring new coordinates. Affirmative. Engage sublight.
Which means I'm going to need probably 50 million more credits just to get out, just to replace all the big guns. And I'm at 9.2. Let's just use the T drive. Can actually get all the, sort of. Right, so something tells me that it's going to automatically trigger as soon as I get the fleet power up to 25,000.
Realigning course.
So, which means I'm going to need to have my own personal weapons up higher than that. Well, up as max as I want before I get the fleet power up there. I mean, with the 3 War Masters and 1 carrier and 2 dreadnoughts, 5 extra carriers, 2 frigates, and I think I lost 2 gunships. Because that says 1 gunship now. My fleet power is already over 20,000. Where did I pick this up? Alright, moot point. Anyway. Yeah, so I need 5.5 million for each Malkier, which is an upgraded version of what I currently have. So that's 11 million just for those 2 guns. The Severance, I mean, it's 5.5 million for each, so I'm going to need 22 million just for the light turrets. And for the big guns, which I don't even have researched up to tier 3 yet, I believe they are the Requiem, Harbinger, and Sentinel. But to just get the class 2s, which, I mean, I technically already have 1, so I don't really need 4. But it's 7 million for each of the tier 2s. So that's 21 million, so I'm going to need 43 million just to finish outfitting all of my weapons with tier 3 light guns and tier 2 heavy guns. Of course, I could also try to research the tier 3 heavy guns. But apparently I now have enough gas to do so. Okay, so the Sentinel's a shockwave generator, and I need 2 of those, so let me research those. In the meantime, off to the jobs board. What is the highest paying job? Highest paying job is this 4.6 million installation defense contract or job. So, you know what, let me back out real quick. Because I have enough for 1 weapon system. Okay, so if I sell that, that's only going to be 800,000. Let's mount the tier 3 on the front. And that job is still here. Okay, cool.
See you again soon, Captain. Safe travels.
Initiating sublight.
And yeah, I did lose 2 gunships. So something tells me I'm probably going to lose the main gunship and 2 frigates just trying to get enough coin to buy weapons to outfit my capital vessel with. And I have a maximum amount of super capital ships because without the Proxima, I apparently can't take a planet. They're not willing to build another one, which is probably a good idea. And I can't build anything battleship or higher unless I have more super capital ship capacity. So no more battleships, dreadnoughts, or carriers, which means I'm going to have to build cruisers. Alright, and here we are.
We have arrived at the construction site. Most of these defense systems are not operational, and some are beyond repair, so we should hurry up and transport our technicians to start repairs.
I was gonna say,
We're
which one's-
transporting delicate repair equipment, so we need to get closer than usual for transport.
So which one's the transport people button? So I can't transport to that one because it has full biometric shielding. Because apparently that's a thing, even though it's a friendly installation. And that's a carrier. One of my vessels. Repair was completed. Repair in progress. Repair completed. Repair completed. That's my frigate. That's a gunship. That's another frigate. That's a platform. Which I think is actually, yeah, that one's fixed. Doesn't matter because they have arrived. Boy
Fighter
fighters.
squadrons, you're good to go.
Alright, and this time they don't have biometric screening, so let's deploy troops to the carrier. Let's get to the cargo bay. I mean, I don't have very many more ships compared to the battleship that I had. In fact, I think 56 was... Actually, I think it was 52. Now down to 40 people. Now down to, what, 20 some odd? 23. Need 18 to get through. So I basically have 5 people to take the bridge. And that's a 0% chance of happening. And of course they failed because, you know, it's a 0% chance. I just wanted to see if it was possible. Apparently it is not. Anyway.
I'd like to keep my ship in one piece, thank you.
Alright, cloak the vessel because we lost the shield.
Affirmative. Entering stealth mode.
Also, everybody dogpile on the carrier. Of course, it would probably also be helpful if we didn't have the broken shield facing the carrier.
System's close to shutting down.
Of course, the starboard shield isn't all that better.
Today, I enter history.
Boost the shields, so that way the damaged shield can get something that resembles percentage.
I'll go out with a bang.
And that carrier is now dead, so hit the dreadnought with troops.
Both tanks report fires and casualties.
Alright, so it should have 11 people left, and port shield is now down. I have a 2% chance of taking the bridge with 11 people.
Energy
failed to
shields
capture the bridge.
reinitialized.
Because that makes perfect sense. Anyway, kill the thing.
The beating is getting a bit heavy.
And now is that everybody?
Hostile target eliminated.
I'm guessing that was everybody.
Mission completed. Time to bring the boys back home.
Okay, I could have sworn I deployed the fighters. No fighter wings available. Did I actually lose the fighters?
Setting
Alright,
course.
let's head back to Concordia.
Initiating sublight.
Send the fleets out to look at things. By that I mean the civilian fleets. Okay, so I basically lost the frigates and the gunships. So I still have the 3 War Masters and 5 carriers, but the reserve fleet basically got toasted.
Adjusting access elevation.
Which I kind of figured, and I knew I probably should not have deployed them, but I need the manpower.
Personal greetings to you, Captain. Always a welcome sight.
Yeah, well, I don't feel like we won. We're in a very greedy mood. Okay, so sell all of that. Rearm. Okay, so I'm assuming when we dock, or at the very least rearm, we get more fighters. Of course, I'll find out, now won't I? But I have 9 million to my name. Unmount that. Stick on some severances. Now if I sell these guns, I have enough to get 1 extra. But no more than that. Okay, so job board again. I'm getting 5 million for destruction ones. Of course, we do have 7.9 for the War Master. Although the destruction ones is basically show up, break as much stuff as possible, and then leave. So while it says 5.8 million, I'm fairly certain I can get far more than that with these, but it exceeds my current recommended level. And when it's that high and dangerous, I'm fairly certain I'd probably lose a couple of my AI ships as well, and I'd prefer not to replace those
They
just
are
yet.
past cross again.
So let's hunt the War Master.
Affirmative.
That should be
Engage
enough coin
sublight.
to at least let me finish outfitting the light turrets. And I'm halfway to researching the heavy weapon. What can I build from here? Right, so can't get the dreadnought. Can get more. I can get Ares cruisers here. What about? Actually, I can just simply. This is Concordia. You can also get Fenrir cruisers from here. And there. And if I go to Concordia, I can get Zodiac, Osaku, Eris, or Tyr. I mean, Tyr's the destroyer, so you can get these 3 classes of cruisers from here. Everything else requires a super capital ship capacity point, which I've completely maxed out. And am I even still heading in the right direction? Yes, I am. It's a long ways away. Okay, so here I am at this derelict. I need to
Initializing
scan it.
HQ reports one of our fleets have returned.
And there's an anomaly here, isn't there? Okay, so the first officer states we have arrived at the location of the abandoned derelict. Enemy veteran is in the vicinity, so we can plan something to lure him here. This derelict is an old scientific vessel, has lots of useful technology parts we can use for an ambush. There are limited quantities, so we need to make a single decision. And I have various options which apply, I guess, various buffs and debuffs to this battle. First one is that we can send a distress call saying we're disabled after combat. We will supercharge our weapons with electronic parts from the derelict to disable their weapons batteries as soon as we hit them. 2 is there are some explosive substances, so we can make mines and plant them all around the derelict, activate the stress signal, and lay an ambush. 3 is the derelict is showing anomalous signs indicating engine malfunction effects. We can rig it to explode, creating an anomaly in the process, and effect a distress call on the derelict while we wait nearby, or we can make a large EMP bomb in the derelict and send a distress signal from the derelict. I generally go with buffing the weapon, so that's what we're going to do. And here he is, so let's get moving. And deploy fighters.
Squadrons, you're good to go. Starboard shield down to 25%, Captain.
Alright, let's cloak because I'm losing
Aft shield down
the
to
shields.
25%, Captain. Cloaking system initiated.
Let's boost the shields. And everybody dogpile. Even though he now has friends. And he's dead. Apparently there's another carrier here. Let us try boarding action, because
Starboard shield is at half capacity.
why not?
Aft shield down to 25%, Captain.
They grappled onto us, or are we them? So I'm flying all around and distance isn't changing. Weird. Alright, so I got 4 men left by the
Port shield is
time
at half capacity.
I even get to the bridge, and they've failed to secure the bridge. So let us kill it. Of course, I don't even know if I'm hitting the thing. And now it's dead. Now it's really dead. Alright, that's the derelict that we're using as an ambush, and apparently lost all but 1 fighter. It's weird. Never lost fighters before. At least if I did, I never noticed. But then again, I barely noticed that they were there in the first place. Half the time I would sublight away, or at least jump to
Course
sublight,
adjusted.
and forget completely that they were still
Engaging
deployed.
sublight.
Concordia is safe with you at the helm, Captain.
Matching
I doubt
phenom
that, given
alignment
what
now.
happened to the planet. Anywho. Here we are. Just sell all of that. Rearm that. New heavy weapons, 87% complete. I have enough to upgrade. The Malkier 3s. It's rather hard to tell. Malkier 3, Malkier 3, Office 3, and Severance 3. And because I need the money. As I sell all my ships as well. You know, I had a feeling that would happen. I figured if I hit sell all, it sells everything. Oh well, I need the coin. Even though the light weapons are at the maximum, as far as I know. I'm sorry, I'm just reading the ticker. Against European companies without provocation. Reason attacked and destroyed one of their fleets patrolling the Carthage border. Syria has not responded in official capacity. Baylor Republic Security is urging travelers to avoid the Maelstrom region. Besides the dangers posed by the Iron Storm, criminal activities are also on the rise. Local outlaw group Hexen is to be blamed, officials claim. Archibald Collins, a former chairwoman of Free Trades Alliance, dissolved by annexation on behalf of the Nixian Consortium, was assassinated. Inspectors conclude. Rogues take over control of an area. That's interesting. And just normal ticker prices. Anyway, as I was saying, the weapons are now up to tier 3, and as far as I know, the weapons I can research are more powerful than the weapons I can buy, at least as far as I know, as I said. So that means that the Malkier, Severance, and the Apophis are probably some of the best beam, railgun, and plasma cannons I can get, and I now have them. So all I have to do is research the Sentinel 3, Harbinger, and Requiem 3, and get those equipped to the ship. But if the 2s are 7 million apiece, I'm assuming that the 3s are probably going to be cost more than a destroyer. And by contrast, and by what's the word I want to look for? Comparison purposes, go to the shipyard. A destroyer costs 4 million. Okay, so it's going to be more expensive than the destroyer. I mean, the light weapons cost more than a destroyer apiece. So it's probably going to be closer, somewhere in between the battleship Orion and the cruiser Zodiac. I mean, if it doubles in price, I'm assuming it's going to be like 14 million a pop. Yeah, I mean, the Sentinel 1 goes from 3.5 million to 7 million for the 2. Whereas the Malkier goes from 1.1 million to 3.2 million to 5.5 million. So that more than doubles, and then less than doubles again. But I'm assuming that they double. It's probably going to be 14 million per heavy weapon. And if I need 4 heavy weapons, it's 56 million just for the heavy weapons, of which I have less than a tenth of that. So I'm going to need to gather more funds and more time because the tier 3 heavy weapons aren't even researched yet. So I'm going to have to do that as well. That or gather enough money to just get the tier 2 ones and just go from there. Also, I need to build more cruisers because I need more fleet power than what 2 War Master Dreadnoughts and 1 War Master Carrier, and 5 extra standard AI carriers can field. I mean, all this only comes to 19,565 fleet power, and I need 25,000 in order to continue. And if it's a little over 1,000 a pop per cruiser, because as I said, super capital ship capacity is at max right now, which means no more carriers, then I'm looking at probably around 5 cruisers. So in addition to researching and buying new weapons, I also have to construct those. And if I look at the build screen, each cruiser costs 15,000. I mean, the costs for the cruisers are negligible. It's more materials that have been the major drawback in building massive fleets. But because I needed a massive pile of resources to research the Proxima, which was still a bad decision then and still a bad decision now, I end up now having the ability to get a large pile of materials somewhat relatively quickly. So it shouldn't be that much of an issue right now. And in addition to the Zodiac, you can also get the Osaka and the Eris, as well as the Fenrir if I decide to build somewhere else. Several somewhere else's. So that's all on the to-do list, and because that's going to take quite a bit of time, and I've already taken quite a bit of time now, I'm going to say that gathering up of all the weapons and getting everything ready and get ready to go and all that fun stuff, and I just realized as large as the Dreadnought is and how far I had to zoom out just to see it all, and the tactical display, the Borealis is still massively larger, which makes sense given the fact that it's a carrier. Yeah, and that's Nika's vessel.
One of our fleets have returned.
Still a Dreadnought. Okay. But as I was saying, here's the other Dreadnought that Leonard Maxton is piloting, and that's the carrier Tara Higgs is piloting, just for fun. Of course, she's also 1 level higher than the other 2, so that may play into that, but she basically skipped having a Dreadnought and just jumped straight to the carrier, so what do I know? In the meantime, as I was saying, gathering the supplies and money that I need to build everything and research everything, because the remaining heavy guns that I need to be researched first, will take time that I do not have right now. So I'm going to have to continue on next time, because I'm going to have to call it here.
Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.